All right, bet. So, the next one we're going to get into, Fernando Vargas and Callum Walsh. Wow. So, first of all, you got to always, like I said, shout out to both of these gentlemen. It takes a lot to get into that ring. I salute anybody that's willing to lace up, get those 3 rounds in, 3 minutes, 6 rounds, 12 rounds, whatever. Shout out to you. First of all, Fernando Vargas, he comes from, legacy, right? From his pops to his younger brother, Emiliano Vargas, legit, Now, excuse me. Now that you have Amato and Fernando, they're getting busy. So, definitely shout out to them. Sorry about that. I'm in the gym. You guys already know. So, Amato and Fernando, they're slowly getting into it, right? So shout out to them, right? So the family, the Vargas dynasty, that's amazing, You got Callum Walsh over here, hungry Irish, It seems like, and this was before, right? Like the Irish have always been like the fighting pride and stuff, the fighting Irish and things of that nature. But to me, it seemed like once Conor McGregor birthed a whole new type of like just legacy or like new generation of Irish, just like these guys' mindsets is different, and I didn't know Callum Walsh actually had a great, I believe, amateur background. I think he's been boxing since he was a kid. So to me, I didn't really see anything too crazy. Honestly, I saw Fernando Vargas, obviously you could see it's in his genes, you could see it's in his blood. Like he got it, he hasn't even been boxing that long, he got the energy, you know what I mean? So shout out to him, he was getting busy. I truly believe that Callum Walsh, it showed that experience, later on in the fight, you start seeing body languages change different. You start seeing stuff like that, right? Posture and things of that nature. You can see who's actually been putting in the work for a long time, and that's where that kind of came out. I don't even think it was too crazy. I think Callum Walsh just kind of outpointed him. You saw the experience, you know what I mean? But you got to tip your hat off to Fernando Vargas no matter what. He was bred and born for the moment. That's why he was able to handle that. That was a crazy moment. 70,000, I believe, in you know what I mean? So like, or 74,000 or some shit, right? So you gotta tip your hat off to him, you know what I mean? Like I said, both of them gentlemen, that's how I saw it. Yeah, and for me, I want to see how Fernando Vargas comes back now. I want to see, what type of fighter he becomes, and a couple years from now, I want to see how that goes, you know what I mean? Because that's the thing, you know what I mean? It's easy to talk, but this game is like, it's really about, you got to salute the fighters that stay consistent, you know what I mean? Like, through the ups and downs. So, shout out to him.